Hey guys, RagingRaptor here, and I welcome you to a new World of Tanks video. And today I want to make a Raptortalk episode where I talk about the Loza Sherman and what it can offer to you. I don't really want to make it a review because, well, let's be honest, it is basically the same as the Shermans, which we already have. So yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about my personal experience with the Loza Sherman, what I think is good and what I think is bad with this vehicle. So, first of all, is it the best Sherman variant we have on tier 6? Definitely no. The best Sherman variant is obviously the normal EC8, and then I have to think that the Thunderbolt, that the Jumbo Sherman is a little bit better, but the Thunderbolt from the premium tanks is absolutely fun to play. Simply because it boasts perfect frontal armor for tier 6, it boasts a better turret frontally, and just so much fun to play in my opinion. Like, when you are top tier with this tank, you can abuse your 123mm frontal armor so well. And luckily for enemies, you actually have a frontal weak spot. Thank you, Wargaming, for introducing something like that. I think this is really darn cool that you did that. But overall, back to the Loza Sherman. The Loza Sherman is like a little bit of an oddball. It is, seriously, it's just a EC8. But the problem is with it, it has such a weak engine. It has roughly 90 to 110 horsepower less than other EC8 Sherman variants on tier 6. And even though it has the highest top speed of all of them, which is 52 kilometers per hour roughly, it's either 3 kilometers faster than the normal EC8 or almost 10 kilometers faster than the Thunderbolt. It still doesn't really achieve that top speed because, as already said, 90 to 110 horsepower are missing on that engine. Plus it's also a tier 6 engine, meaning that from time to time, if you get hit there, the hit points of the engine are really darn small, meaning a decent hit into that engine will make it broke, and then you're just a sitting duck. Just for a little comparison, the engine has around 50 HP less than, as you guessed it, the Thunderbolt Sherman. It's a lot less, like, damn, it's a lot less. Just so you know, for example, your 76mm gun M1A2 deals 105 damage to a module, meaning when you get hit into the engine after 2 shots, it should be completely destroyed. While with the Thunderbolt, it will take up to 3 shots easily. That's a big difference. And for example, this tank does not boast special matchmaking, meaning when you are in a tier 8 game, a Scorpion G will really screw over your day because 500 damage per shot roughly deals a lot of HP of you. Like 750 HP is not that much in a tier 8 game. And don't forget, theoretically, every single time an Aishu 152 with a big gun shoots at you, you will be dead. Because it simply one-shots you. That's not fun to play at all. To that comes your gun with 128mm of AP penetration, 177mm of APCR penetration. Don't get me wrong, the APCR penetration is pretty nifty for a tier 6 medium, but the AP penetration plus the shell velocity of only 800 meters per second is so slow. Like, it's sniping with this tank is hard, and it doesn't get better because it is even inaccurate. Like, it's the most inaccurate variant on that tier. It has a base accuracy of 0.4, which is 0.02 worse than the one on the Thunderbolt. And that should already say a lot, in my opinion. Sure, those tanks are not meant to be snipers. I totally get that. That's not a big deal. But still, it just feels kind of mad that other Sherman variants are much more accurate. Plus, your aim time is simply horrendous. Like, 2.21 seconds just feels, why am I doing this to myself? You most of the time are faster aimed in than you are ready to shoot, and that's no good. That's really no good. Luckily enough, it's exactly the same gun as on the normal, on the American EC8. Just the bad thing is the real EC8 has 12 degrees of gun depression, while you only have 10. I don't understand that exactly why. Because 12 degrees of gun impression, oh boy, that would be awesome. 10 degrees are still great, don't get me wrong, but those 12 degrees, they would be really darn nifty. And this is where this tank actually shines at. It has not that good of frontal armor, 63 millimeters of armor, and side armor of 38 millimeters, meaning that you need to side scrape in an out of bounds angle, otherwise you will get penned there. But the turret is where fun gets going. If you are in a tier 6 only game, many, and I mean many, tier 6 opponents have little chance penetrating your turret when you are hold on. Because your gun mantlet is 177.8 millimeters thick. That's basically everything on tier 6. Everything will bounce there. Except for high caliber TDs like the SU-100Y or the Nashorn. Other than that, yes, your turret is kind of weak on the sides beside the turret. But again, those spots are quite small. So if you are in a fully hold down position, it will be pretty hard to hit them. And the mantlet is so thick that even tier 8 medium tanks can from time to time bounce on it when they hit the edges of it. And this is actually which makes this tank fun to play, because you can more or less rely on your turret, and because you have such a short reload time and, well, bad accuracy on the move, you can just try to spam shots. You peek out of cover from the hold down position and spam those shots into the face of the enemy and hope for the best. Like, seriously, just as my 10 tips video, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. This is the motto of this tank. This is the Make America Great Again motto of this tank. Like, you just go and try to spam as many shells into the enemy's face as possible. Other than that, this tank is a okayish crew trainer. It has 5 crew members, which is a little bit meh compared to the 4 crew members needed for a tier 10 Russian medium tank. But the cool thing is you get Loza's Commander, and this Loza's Commander gives you a free 6th sense. Yes, you heard that right, free 6th sense, meaning you will not need to train 6th sense on your commander, and you will always have it, no matter what. It's like the rock and roll people in arms from the Primo Victoria, or the sisters in arms you get from the female crew members, or something like the special crews which you get from the Aishu 122S or the Cromwell B. Those are all crews which get a base skill for free, which is in their case Brothers in Arms. This guy, however, all the other crew members don't get anything special. Just the commander. The commander gets 6th sense for free. And for new players, this is actually pretty nifty, because you don't need to train 6th sense, obviously. And this is like where I have to say I'm confused to whom this tank really appeals. It is good for new players because, as you guessed it, you will get a free 6th sense commander. But other than that, it is not an easy tank to play, because you have low armor penetration, you have really little armor except when you're standing hold down. In tier 8 games, you are boned. The good thing is, though, if you decide to use, instead of a vertical stabilizer, you want to use, what's it called? Optics, and use Coca-Cola, you should be able to get around 445 meters of view range, which is for a tier 6 medium really darn strong. But again, for crew member or crew training, I think the Rudy is a much better contestant here. Not only is it fun to play, it is also a tank with only 4 crew members, and they have the same layout as every single tier 10 Russian medium tank, making it the perfect crew trainer for Russian tier 10 medium tanks. So yeah, 15 euros, you get a free commander with 6th sense. It's okay, but I don't know. Like, I think if you really want a good medium tank to train crews, wait for the Rudy. You can play this tank in strongholds. It really works. It shouldn't be that big of a deal, because if the enemies are starting to shoot gold ammunition, then it will be a little bit harder, because, well, then your turret armor can be penetrated more or less easily. But other than that, it's okay. It can work. Nevertheless, when you want a fun Sherman variant, wait for the Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolt is, in my opinion, so much more fun. You have an effective upper front plate armor of around 160 millimeters. This is tier 6 medium tank. Plus the turret is actually also quite strong. It gets additional armor platings. Seriously, the Thunderbolt is a fun tank to play, so go out there and wait for that tank. The Loza Sherman is more of a gimmick than anything else. But yeah, that's my personal opinion. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Raptor Talk. Let me know what you think about this Loza Sherman, if you brought it, and what are your advice. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck on the battlefield.